another, right? Late night live with Law. All right, we got some people fooling there now. So I'm gonna turn my volumes down. Salute to everybody that's in the house, man. Thank for those who went out and watched the Christian Kirk video, especially those who went and watched Calvin Ridley. I do know that we pretty much not going to lean towards offense, and I don't blame us. I think we should lean towards football, defensive-minded people that can help us out, help aid this team out down the line. But I just want to talk about the Brice Butler spilling the tea situation. He out here bumping his gums. We all know that he's not planning to be on the team next year. And I like Brice Butler. I really do. I like what he stands for. I like what his pedigree is out there on the field. He's fast. And he said that, hell, he's a 4-3 guy, right? So we're going to get things going. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I want to hear you guys' feedback on that whole situation, that scenario. It's just one of those things, man. He's speaking the truth. He's speaking his mind. I respect that. I respect that wholeheartedly, man. You can't beat that. You know, if you look at it collectively from that, you know, I speak my mind. You know, I'm at work. I'm going to speak out, you know. He need to probably get out. You know what I mean? But he is kind of talking. He bumping his gum. So, man, you know, my thing is, if you're going to say it now when it's all over with, you know, it's kind of too late. I want you to say it during the season. I don't, you know, you do have mandatory press conferences that you can do. Speak that truth then, you know, don't wait till it's all over with. That's just how I look at it. I'm going to have the clip out there in the few. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let's get this thing going.
Like down the field throws. As a receiver that is a route runner, I feel like I can do more things. Yeah, I can do more things in the offense, but my role was to be the deep threat guy, the down the field guy, so I just had to embrace what
y'all
they
know
gave me
Skip
as a role,
gonna set him up for the okie doke, right?
So, anybody who regularly watches this show knows I have become a big fan of Brice Butler because he can run by people and he can separate and get open. And anybody who watches the show regularly knows I have fallen out of love with one Dez Bryant, who basically became a ball-dropping disaster last year. So, my question to you is, why, in your view, did you not play more? Because you were only throwing 23 balls last year. You only caught 15 balls, but you led the National Football League with 21 yards a catch. That's a lot. That's 21 yards of average. And I said, I want more Brice Butler. Why didn't I get more Brice Butler?
I think in this league, when you think about the business aspect,
Yep.
I think you got to follow the money trail.
Dez Bryant makes a whole lot of money.
Yeah, both of our starters made money. Terrence just got paid.
He just got
He
paid.
beat up last
Yeah.
year. So, yeah, there was times last year where I was like, I'm making plays. Like, why aren't we trying to win games? Like, why am I not on the field? But that's the only thing that I could really think of.
Did you voice your frustrations to a coach or two?
Yeah, I spoke to some coaches. And you know how coaches are when you play. They just say, keep doing what you got to do, control what you can control. And that's one thing that I try to focus on, just controlling what Brice Butler has to do. I feel like in 2016, I was thinking too much about what was going on, and I didn't have as much of a consistent season as I wanted to. And this year, I was trying to just focus on me. That's why the last game of the season, they don't really throw me in until the third quarter. Throw me the ball, we make it happen. You know, end of the game, catch the slant, make it happen. So I wasn't trying to focus on what this guy was doing, what that guy was doing, what this guy's talking about, who he's, you know, making a fuss about or whatever. I was just trying to focus on me. So
do you believe that Brice Butler could have been more productive this year if given the opportunities than Dez Bryant was?
Oh, 100%.
Like to hear that.
100%. Because I'm ready. You know, it's my time. I've been there for 3 years. I feel like me and Dak have a really good relationship. We work.
Hey, anybody that said they ready, hey, they down with me, man. Now, the kid said he's ready to get out there. He knows the plays and things like that. He breaks down the fact that he can run more than the routes that are called. Now he's not throwing Dez all the way under the bus, but he pretty much kind of slid him towards the bus, not throwing him under the bus. But that's cool, you know. Dez got to figure out a way to be less. How can I put this? Dez got to figure out a way to put his action out there on the field. And we all know what Dez can do out there where it relates to like route running, the 3 routes that he can run, and the limited amount of ways that Dak Prescott can get the ball over to Dez. We understand that. But this whole thing with the coaching situation, to me personally, I think that this kid is speaking his mind. He's speaking what's on his chest. But I wish that he came out in the middle of the season with this. And it could be the reason why he wasn't starting. But exactly what we saw against Arizona Cardinals game, we could have lost that game if it wasn't for this kid, Brice Butler. That's all I had to say on that. But let's continue to watch this clip.
On routes, there's times that, you know, we might not have completed a square out throw in practice, and we're taking that time after practice to actually work on it. So I think that's why when you saw us in the game, you know, he tried to come to me, and most of the times, you know, we produced.
At Arizona, you really produced because you made 2 big catches that just turned the whole game around, right? So, again, you're just on a 1-year deal. Do you expect to be back? And if so, do you expect Dez to be back? And what will be your role next year?
I don't know. You know, I think the market for me will be a little bit better. So I'm definitely going to play the market. I wouldn't mind being back in Dallas, but there's going to have to be some changes made. And, you know, I'll definitely voice that with the team and the organization.
So is it fair to say this town isn't big enough for the both of you and Dez? Would Dez have to be gone for you to come back?
You know, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, Dez has been the guy there, so it's kind of unfair for me to say, you know, a guy like Dez has to be gone because he's 75-plus touchdowns there. I mean, he's done some stuff that I dreamed of doing, you know, as a kid for an organization. So it's unfair to say, but, you know, going into free agency, thinking about Dallas, you know, there will be some things that I would have to know before anything.
I think you said it all right
but
there.
you want the opportunity.
Yes.
That's what you want. You're not saying X player has to be gone or this, but you want the opportunity to show what you can do.
Exactly. I mean, that's it. I mean, you know how it is, man. If you're a guy getting 130 targets a season versus the guy getting 30 targets a season,
Right.
The only difference is the opportunity.
Right.
And, you know, maybe the why could be different.
Right.
But, you know, Antonio Brown catches the most balls every year. He gets the most balls.
Targets, right.
You know what I'm saying? He's a beast now.
Yeah.
But he gets the most targets.
Right.
You know, if I get 150 targets, I'm going to catch 100-plus balls.
And by the way, you are, what do you go, 6'3"?
6'3", 215.
215. So you're not quite as physical as Dez is, but you're in the ballpark, right?
Right,
Is that
for
fair?
sure. Yeah, for sure.
And Mr. Sharp, would you explain what you didn't see in Dez Bryant last year as far as route running goes?
I look at Dez Bryant, and I've watched him a lot, not only on game, on TV copy, but on game. Dez run 2 routes. He's an in-breaking route or a back shoulder fade guy. So it makes it very easy for you to cover him because you don't have to worry about the speed out, which you talked about how you missed the throw sometime in practice with that, and you'll work on it after. That's a timing throw. Some people, you know, 5 steps roll to 7, some 7 roll to 9, or whatever it is. You run the bang 8, skinny post, what we called it back then, but the bang 8, outside foot up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ball coming out.
Coming out.
So if I'm playing Dez as a corner, I know he's breaking something in breaking or he's running back shoulder fade because I'm not worried about him going over the top of it.
Right.
You. Am I lying?
Yeah, you're not. I mean, in our offense is a positive and a negative, I feel, because we have very talented players.
Right.
We got Cole Beasley, we got, you know, Witten, who's played for forever. You know, we got Dez Bryant, we got Zeke. But the thing that a lot of us will say, every one of us will say, is that when they find what your strength is, they kind of just, that's what you do.
So they put you in that box and you can't come out of that.
That's kind of what you do. Like with me, for instance, I only ran verticals.
Right.
I mean, I ran other routes. You know, you saw me run other routes.
Right.
But really, you only saw me running vertical.
Right.
You know, and that's not because I couldn't.
So a lot of Dez, all I'm saying he only runs in-breaking routes is because, okay, he's good at in-breaking routes. He's good at back shoulder fades, and they haven't allowed him to expand, or Dez hasn't expanded himself.
I think it could be a mixture of both.
Okay.
It could be a mixture of both. Maybe saw that maybe earlier in his career he couldn't run a comeback.
Right.
And then they just went away from it.
Right.
I guess whoever I'm pulling this thing from, their screen is kind of choppy. But let me just fill in what he's talking about. Look, I'm not saying that Brice Butler is the next Dez Bryant or Miles Austin for that one spurt year that Miles Austin had. But Brice Butler is 6'3", 215 pounds. Like he such heavenly lamented the fact that he do have those attributes. Now, a lot of scouts do when you come out of college. They kind of put you in a box. They put you in a bubble. They say, okay, out of college you are only known for a vertical receiver, and they put you in that frame of mind. Just like I did a comparison of Christian Kirk. He's pretty much an interior guy, a slot guy. We don't know whether or not he can play on the outside. You know, he's 5'11", 200 pounds. And some would argue and say, well, Odell Beckham is the same height, same measurables. When he played for LSU, Odell Beckham really did play inside more than anything because they had the other kid on the outside. I forgot his name. He played for the Miami Dolphins. But Jarvis Landry, I think that's his name. Jarvis Landry was the pretty much the ex receiver, and my guy Odell Beckham, however you want to call him, was the Z or the Y receiver, what have you. But at the same time, salute to Cowboys TV. Thank you for donating to help grow the nation. You guys go out and follow his page. But outside of that, but what Brice Butler can do is he's a more polished route runner, believe it or not, than a Dez Bryant. I think his pedigree, his dad was a football player. I think he's more in depth as it relates to like being a quote unquote wide receiver at this point. But the problem is he's on Dez Bryant level. We would never know. You know, is Dak Prescott is the type of person who's going to elevate the wide receiver? I don't think so. So I said all this to say this, that if you look at Minnesota's tape, not calling him Adam Thielen, I want you guys to research on how Adam Thielen became the number one receiver out there or became the starter receiver. Not saying that Case Keenum put Adam Thielen out there on the map, but what I'm saying is sometimes it takes years for a wide receiver to develop, a la T.O. T.O. came out from a small college, came into the league, understudied under Jerry Rice. It had to be a point in time, not calling Brice Butler the next T.O., but it had to be a point in time where you're going to have to say, okay, when I'm going to let the young guy shine. You see what I'm saying? So at some point, some way, somehow, this team, this coaching staff going to have to say, hey, we paying this guy big money. We got to figure out what we can do from the lower level guys. That's all I had to say on that. But let me see if this thing can play out and see the end of it. A little twirly thing.
Right. Yeah. Which is not uncommon, Skip. Some guys feel more comfortable with a guy running square outs and comeback as opposed to slants and over routes. So that's not uncommon.
Is it fair to say at this point in your career, for sure, you are faster than Dez Bryant?
Oh, I'm a 4.3 guy.
I just want to get that on.
Oh, I'm a 4.3 guy. Yeah. So I mean, there was never like a
contest between you.
Yeah, nah. He wouldn't even. Yeah, he wouldn't.
Okay, so I'm on the record. I believe that even though I used to be a big fan, and everything you say about Dez in the past is he was big time. There was a point where he might have been the most dominating receiver in pro football.
There was a conversation.
All right, I'm gonna stop this. This is from their screen. This is from this website. Let me go to another page, man. Go to my Facebook page. Hell with that shit. See if I go to my Facebook on this thing. But you guys feel what I'm saying, man. I love I love Dez Bryant, man. But is it a point in time where we had to say to ourselves, get out? You know, is it a point in time where we're going to say, does this coaching staff have us like that movie, Get Out? You know, or everybody in the sunken place as it relates to like not saying that they trying to take people's head off and stuff like that and put their brain in. That damn Jason Garrett, man, as much as he claps the ball, there's one play. If you guys saw the game Monday night, Alabama versus the
Yep.
I think you got to follow the money trail.
Alabama
But
versus Georgia.
like,
But
Nick
he's
Saban did
big
that
body
damn
and he
thing.
still knows how
Towards the end,
catching
Nick Saban was
110 again,
able to
Bruce Arians got there.
be emotional on that sideline. That's what I want from
It's a different. It's a hard position.
Being
You gotta run
emotional,
some
just a
different
little
routes.
bit.
Your feet got to be a little quicker than on the outside. You got to be able to react because the nickel might jump outside once you run up on. You know what I'm saying? You
This
got
is
to
a
get
lot big.
outside.
This is a
So
whole
things
lot
will
clearer right
change.
here. Let me go back.
But I think they could do some things to help.
in the most dominating receiver.
Oh, I'm a 4-3 guy.
I just
Routes that I'm not really looking at because we haven't had success at these routes. Now, obviously, I wasn't there up until that time.
Right.
So, you know, that just he was telling me that the guys that I had before, I wasn't throwing these routes to. So,
Which is not uncommon, Skip. Some guys feel more comfortable with a guy running square outs and comebacks as opposed to slants and over routes. So that's not uncommon.
is it fair to say at this point in your career for sure you are faster than Dez Bryant?
oh, I'm a 4-3 guy.
I just want to get that on.
Oh,
record.
I'm a 4-3 guy. So I mean, there was never like a
contest between you and the speed.
he wouldn't even yeah, he wouldn't.
Okay, so I'm on the record. I believe that even though I used to be a big fan, and everything you say about Dez in the past is he was big time. There was a point where he might have been the most dominating receiver in pro football.
There was a conversation that we had.
Yep.
Who's better, Julio or Dez Bryant?
Yep.
Right,
That's
yeah.
no longer the
Okay?
conversation.
That is no longer his body has betrayed him. You know, and I know it's broken down. He's had this and that and the other, and he's lost a little quickness and a lot of speed and a lot of confidence. And your confidence has risen because I think you have a wavelength with Dak Prescott that he's lost for whatever reason. And yet, again and again last year, I mean, 132 targets to Dez Bryant, and it just felt like the read was always 88 is singled out there. You just got to force the ball to 88, and he led the league in drops and in frustration.
Skip saying this.
Because he caused a lot of frustration in me and a lot of the Cowboy fans, and I'm on the record. I have nothing personal against Dez Bryant. He's got to go next year because Dak needs more help. Is that fair to say that there isn't enough speed out there for anybody to get free and get open? Jason Witten, you've made jokes about you could outrun him now, but he's okay. But
He knows he's not.
but he's big body and he still knows how to run around and get open.
Right.
But they're all check down passes.
Right.
And he's going to catch a 5-yard pass, and that's as far as it's going to go. He's going to get 5 yards.
Right. I think there's things, in all fairness, I think there's some things that they can do to help Dez. To
Such
help
as?
him get the ball. I think if they put him in the slot
Ooh.
and moved him around
Okay,
and
would
gave
he-
him some
would he
underneath,
go
he's a
with
physical
that?
receiver.
Right.
I think he would. We actually spoke about that.
Be a
and he
hell of
said
a
he
route
would
runner
love to
to run the
do it.
slot.
Really?
Now the slot is hard. Is the hardest.
It's a hard position. You got to run some different routes. Your feet got to be a little quicker than on the outside. You got to be able to react because the nickel might jump outside once you run up on. You know what I'm saying? You got to get outside. So things will change. But I think they could do some things to help him as well, though. That was. He has a different way of expressing his feelings. So, a lot of times he gets a bad, rap or perception because of what you guys see on TV.
So you guys are cool.
Yeah, we have a good relationship. We talk about a lot of things.
Damn, everybody liking my stuff, man. Let me get back.
I think in this league, when you think about the business aspect,
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you got to follow the money trail.
You next year. I know it has.
One was, that's what Larry did. A little quicker than on the outside. You got to be able to react because the nickel might jump outside once you run up on. You know what I'm saying? You got to get outside. So things will change. But I think they could do some things to help him as well, though. That was. He has a different way of expressing his feelings. So, a lot of times he gets a bad, rap or perception because of what you guys see on TV.
So you guys are cool.
Yeah, we have a good relationship. We talk about a lot of things. So, I mean, in the last few weeks of the season, he was speaking about that. And what I said to him was,
Ninja, man,
that's
you
what Larry
crazy.
did. And Larry went from
Larry Fitzgerald.
80, 90 balls to outside to inside catching 110 again when Bruce Arians got there. And I was like, as long as you can work on that route tree in the slot within our offense, and, our coaches could be creative in there, you can do it.
Do you want to be a Cowboy next year?
I would love to be a Cowboy, but things have to some things
have to change. Right. So what's your gut feeling? Where are you next year? I know it hasn't started yet, free agency.
I don't know.
Patriots?
I don't want to express on the air, but
your brother going to the Patriots, man.
Express a little bit. Just give us a tease.
There's some teams that have some quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? That throw the ball. That need some receivers.
And he want a chance to play. Why would he go back to the same situation if he's going to be stuck behind a guy making $12.5 million and he's going to get the same opportunity that he got the previous 3 years?
Sounds like it's Dez Bryant or Bryce Butler, right? That's how it comes across to me. I'm siding with Bryce Butler.
Well, Dez is the X, right? Dez plays X. You can play Z, right?
I can play them all.
Okay, then. So, Terrence Williams, you're not safe either.
Ooh.
We gotta leave it there, Bryce.
My homie want to play.
Hey, man, that was a good interview, man. My bad, it was chopping up earlier, man. I had to go to my other site, man. You got to check out my Facebook page. That's where I got a lot of content. Film I'm working on now is that Roquan Smith kid. I'm telling you, my quick view on Roquan is if he's there at 19, and we pass up on him, now I'm gonna be, man. You guys are gonna hear me take it off of PG-13. You guys are gonna hear me cuss. You guys are gonna hear me get wild, crazy, because I did it when we picked Taco. Believe it or not, you know, I was moving furniture around when we picked Taco. A lot of people was like, "Calm down, Law." I had to pull the video, but it was one of those things where I knew that Taco, he's not a bad player. He's one of those guys that's gonna take time to develop, and I wasn't ready for sitting back and developing it and waiting for somebody to get good. You know, I wanted somebody like the TJ Watts of the world, and everybody who's saying that TJ Watt is an outside linebacker. What the hell was DeMarcus Ware? Do your scouting report on DeMarcus Ware. He was an outside freaking linebacker. So same position. It's just that TJ Watt is probably a slight smaller, but he's aggressive. He can get out to the edge. That's what I was looking for. Bend, get out to the edge, wreak havoc on the quarterback. Hell with what type of system formality it is. You think measurables is everything. Look at Carl Lawson. You know, look up his stats. Look up his sacks for the seasons and stuff like that. But I'm not selling. I'm not denigrating Taco Charlton's of the world. Taco gonna be a good guy down the line. But I wanted instant gratifications. I wasn't ready for the Empire State Building to be built. I was ready for the little small building to get it out the way. But Roquan, man, that guy, man. Let me tell you. Covering out in space is not his strong suit, but damn it, he gonna learn, man. He can get to the quarterback, get to the edge, shed blocks pretty well. He's aggressive, kind of like, to me, a better. Well, not gonna say better. No way. Not a better prospect than Jalen Smith. No, he's not that. But he is in the ballpark of a Jalen Smith. If you think about this, close your eyes and wonder. I know it's different schematics of the defense, but if you think about this, a Roquan Smith and a Jalen Smith, is his last name Smith? Yeah, Roquan. Yeah, Roquan and Jalen. These guys, it can be the next Pat Willis or Pete Willis. Pat Willis and Ahmad Brooks or Navarro Bowman combination. So that's how deadly it is, you know. I do know we have a situation to look at, whereas what the hell we gonna do with Hitch? I think Hitch, number 59, is one of those guys that is like a cog in the wheel a little bit with this defense too as well, because we know Sean Lee is not gonna stay healthy for 16 weeks. We know that. You know there's possibles, right? So we know that's the truth of the matter. We know number 57 just couldn't cover at all. My guy, what's the guy name? Oh, damn, I'm losing the player's name. Number 57, I can't remember his name because that's how much I didn't get a chance. Damian Wilson. We know that Damian Wilson had a horrible year this year. He only showed up like 2 or 3 games where he showed lights out. But outside of that, he just didn't really have a poised year to me. So if you got a Roquan Smith, he's there on the board, pick him up. If not, if you go with somebody else, you better get somebody who can just be so explosive that it can just ease my mind off of us passing up on Roquan. But It's going to be one of those things. Trade Dez for Earl Thomas or Sherman. This is from Jordan Bryant. Man, no, don't do that. Get out. Get out. Don't trade the kid for those guys. It was just more, it's like rearranging furniture on a Titanic deck, you know. What you want to do is pretty much what you want to do basically. You know Eric, what's his guy name? Earl Thomas. I keep calling him Eric Thomas. Think about Eric Berry. They kind of play similar. You know Earl Thomas is a future Cowboy, right? When he want to go play for the Cowboys, right? He already put that out in the ether. So, and the Mecca, everybody know that he's trying to get out to Dallas. So somehow, some way, hopefully it can be like a Marshawn Lynch type of deal. You know how that trade went about. You know, we got a lot of compensatory picks. Why not make your guy happy if you no longer want to play? If you no longer want to play for your said team. Let me see. Question. What's that kid smoking? This from the Italian Cowboy. I don't know. Jordan Bryant, Laugh Out Loud. Chris, let me see. What's the Cowboy? Nope, that's not. I have you guys up here. I can't move around the text message, but it's all good, man. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm not going to keep everybody long. I got to really get back into chopping up film and looking at film. But Vita Vea, this is from Jordan Payne, or Jonah Payne. Vita Vea, if we do go with a big body guy, this is it can be a plug that's in the middle. I won't be mad at that. I won't be super extremely happy at that because I don't think that that's the strength of really need that we need to have on this team. Now, it's been a strength of need that we needed to have probably last year, have that big plug to fill up in the gap. But it's going to be more of the same because you got to have an understudy for Sean Lee. You got to have somebody else to, because I don't know if Jalen Smith is going to play a full 16 weeks too as well, although he did play a full season this year. But hopefully, it's going to be a scary transition next year because we're losing so much continuity. Although everybody's falling on the sword for Jason Garrett and his coaching staff, they fire everybody up under and they're getting rid of the damn small branches that makes the tree. So this tree is very thin. The opinions, I don't think that they have it out there strongly. They only have Jason Garrett, Coach Linehan, and then they got Coach Kellen Moore as quarterback coach. I know they said that it's not official, but it is official. You know, they're just trying to sweep that under the rug. So it's going to be one of those things where I'm sitting back because we lost Joe Baker. They talking about firing the damn offensive line coach who was a brilliant guy in my opinion. So if they're getting rid of all these guys, who are they going to bring in? It's new, fresh ideas, but the continuity might not be there. To me, that's going to be like us taking a step back. If you don't cut the main head off, you know, the head, fish head rots, fish rots from the head first. So if you don't get Jerry Jones out of the GM spot to get a true GM in here who can really evaluate players, a GM's goal is to go out, scout players, evaluate players, be on that panel, be out there hitting the streets. He's the general manager. He signs off on everything. He put everything in the right perspective. You know, and everybody deep down in their hearts, everybody know in their heart, soul, mind, sinew, we know that Jerry Jones is not out there looking at film and tape on players. We know that for sure without a shadow of a doubt in our mind that Jerry Jones is not going back, looking over, taking an extra night looking at a player and his tenacity, as I always say, and his temperament out there on the field and looking at a player's conduct outside of the offside of the field, and he's not looking at all this stuff. And of course, when you're a billionaire and you got $1 billion play plan like he has out there, you can hire people, but it's something about when you the GM and you know you got that fire up under your ass, you're gonna sit up there and say, well, hell, if I don't watch this extra film, or if I don't make this extra call, or if I don't get in the car and drive out to this extra 30, 40 miles, I can get fired. I won't be able to put food on my table. I want somebody like that that's monitoring, that's out there on the field for our team. One can say, well, you know, Will McClay is the GM by Untitled or what have you. But it's just one of those things, man. it's just one of those things where we really got to be able to figure this thing out as far as it relates to coaching staff. But it's just one of those things, man. I hope that you guys can take a look at everything in the future with me on this Roquan Smith. And I look at that Vita kid, and give me somebody else to take a look at too as well once the video has been posted. That's been my time, guys. I really thank you guys for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. I'm out. Peace. My music at? I gotta get my music at. Gotta get the music at. Where is that? Where the music at? There she go. Oh. Yo, music. Hey. Who that is? Man, don't have me to go off on you, Cowtown, Texas. Tell you how your mama felt last night. You don't want me to go off on you, man. And remember, you are listening to nothing but the best. Cowtown. Man, don't have me to go off on you, man. Don't you know I do this for a living to go off on you, people like you, man. Pull up your page with them 0 followers you got. Tell your mama I said hi. And don't eat the spaghetti she cooked last night. It was good. I had to start it over. There she go. Let my music go, guys. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Let the beat drop. Get out. I ain't gonna hurt him, man. I let the kids play. I'm his daddy. Don't want to get hit for child abuse, abusing my son.